The 2021 NASCAR season kicks off tonight with the Busch Clash, and today we're bringing on a Truck Series and Xfinity Series driver team owner to discuss this Friday and Saturday's Truck and Xfinity races. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric, and welcome to Out of the Groove. It's race day. It feels so good to see that. The Cup cars will be on track tonight at the Daytona road course for the Busch Clash. In a few minutes, we're going to preview the Busch Clash, talk about why they're on the road course. I'll give you guys my picks for tonight's race. But before we get to that, my friend Jordan Anderson is joining the show to talk about this upcoming weekend's Xfinity and Truck Series races. He's pulling double duty. He'll be in the truck on Friday, the car on Saturday. He'll talk a little bit about the Xfinity and Truck Series races and all the partners that have helped get him there this offseason. It's a full Daytona preview episode of Out of the Groove. Let's go now to my recent interview with Jordan Anderson. To start today's episode, I am joined, as always, by NASCAR Truck Series and Xfinity Series team owner and driver and friend of the show, Jordan Anderson, to talk all things Daytona. How's it going, man? Thanks for being here.
Hey, good morning, Eric. It is definitely Daytona race week. You can tell by all the crazy things going on around here at our shop. We've been busy hustling around trying to get everything prepped. Our truck team has done a great job getting everything ready. Our Xfinity guys are on it, so we're excited. This is the first time in a long time that I've done double duty like this on a given weekend, and to be doing it at Daytona is really, really special. So hopefully we can improve on our finish from there last year, the second place for the truck. We're going there with a clean slate with the Xfinity car, a whole new team, new number, everything. So a lot to be excited about, that's for sure.
Yeah, and you have some pretty good-looking paint schemes to reveal today on the show, if I'm not mistaken, featuring one of our newest sponsors. It's great to see Swan getting into NASCAR both on and off the racetrack. So what schemes do you have to show off for us? It's for the Truck Series, right?
Yeah, definitely. So proud to welcome Swan Security to our race team. They'll be a partner on both our truck and our Xfinity car this year. They'll be debuting with Jordan Anderson Racing at Daytona. The number 3 Swan Enforcer Chevrolet Silverado. It's probably one of my most favorite paint schemes. The black, the blue, their colors look really amazing on there. They'll be on our Xfinity car later in the season at Darlington Raceway on our number 31. So we've got the Swan Enforcer riding on the side. We've got the big Swan camera on the back bumper looking at everybody behind us. So it's definitely going to be an amazing paint scheme and really amazing to see Swan get into sport in such a big way with their involvement with you, with NASCAR Pole Position Magazine, the Out of the Groove, even the podcast network, everything they've got going on. They're getting involved. They're going all in, just like how you and I do our deals. We go all in and never settle for seconds. So it's amazing to have a great partner that's wanting to get involved, that's activating their partnership, really taking it from just a sponsorship and making it something that's alive. And they're an amazing company. They've got a great history. They're growing very, very quickly. And, so much of all the crazy stuff going on in the world, it's nice to have some peace of mind and security for especially somebody like me, because I travel so much. Half the time I'm here at the race shop, away from the house on the road racing. So to be able to have a good security system, keep an eye on our race shop and my home when I'm gone is great. So they're not only a great partner to have for our race team, they have a great product, and hopefully we'll take them to the front and keep an eye on all our competitors behind us at the racetrack.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is a really sharp paint scheme. I have a cardboard cutout of the enforcer guy that they have there. And that dude is like 6'6". You know me, I'm super duper tall. He's looking me at the eye when I keep him up around the house, and I just round the corner and see him. He actually kind of terrifies me. So I can imagine he would strike fear into anyone who's maybe going somewhere they're not supposed to be. But that's super cool for Swan to be involved with your truck and Xfinity Series team. I do want to talk about Daytona now. So you're running both races leading up to the week. You came, like you said, within inches of winning the truck race a year ago. So what have you found to be the most successful strategy to running well at Daytona?
I think one of the biggest things is that when we get a run off of turn 4 to not let Grant get to us. I've replayed that in my head several times since then, but you never really could plan to be in a situation like that. And I'm very fortunate that, at the end of 2019, I celebrated my 100th truck start. We ran all this past season, getting to run the Xfinity Series this year. Being a small team, being a small driver, I never was really able to put myself in positions to race that aggressive and do the way we did at Daytona. So as our team has been able to grow and we've been able to get more equipment and more supporters behind us, us as a race team, we've been able to push the edge a little bit more. I've been able to race a little bit more aggressively and really move up towards the the front of the field. So when you do that, the racing style changes just a little bit. There's a better chance of maybe some chances of your stuff getting tore up. And but I look back on that Daytona race, we played it perfect. We kind of put that same strategy into play at Talladega later in the year, where we came home and finished sixth there. So we really have a good strategy laid out for how these super speedway races, really play out. So our game plan is to do the same thing. We just got to be there at the end, and hopefully we'll have a good car to get through it all. But, I love the plate racing. Some people love it. Some people hate it. And I definitely have a love-hate with Daytona because I went there. I didn't even make the race, didn't qualify in 2015. Didn't make it in 2017. So I've had the highest of highs and lowest of lows all at that racetrack. And then with all the history it's got, it's even more special. So looking at what we've been able to do this year with our team to step it up and be able to announce that we're going full-time Xfinity racing, to keep our truck team going and growing at the same time with some different drivers that we're going to have in that seat throughout the year. We've got another paint scheme to announce next week, and our driver for the Daytona Road Course. It's a very cheesy truck, if you get what I'm putting down, a little mac and cheese on that truck next week. So excited to share that partner. But a lot of great things are coming together for our team, and constantly working to evolve and be a better team owner, be a better driver, and got some amazing people around me that are helping put all this together and make all this happen. So super humbled and super grateful to all the great people that are a part of this journey, because I still sometimes have to slow down and sit still and think about, where I was 5-6 years ago, and this was just a dream. So to see the doors that God's opened to allow us to keep growing this program and surround us with so many great people is certainly humbling, but really exciting to think about what the next 5 years have in store for us all.
Absolutely. Do drivers talk to each other the week leading up to Daytona about like strategies or like who you might work with? I asked this because you showed some speed last year, so I thought it might have caught some of your competitors' attention.
I usually tend to keep myself at the racetrack. So we come there with our team and we go to battle together
Head
with our
down,
team,
just forward,
and we keep it that way. So don't get me wrong. There's definitely guys that, know how I race and I know how they race. So there's usually like 10 minutes before the race starts when those strategies get put in place. And it really honestly depends on who you qualify around. I mean, I look at Daytona last year. I think there on the grid, it was myself, Corbin Forrester, Gus Dean, and there was Cody Rohrbaugh, and we were all kind of right there together. And I think Natalie Decker was even in the conversation. Just a couple of us were like, hey, we don't want to go race in the front. We know it's going to happen. If we can all just kind of chill out, we'll go to the back and we'll just ride around. And sure enough, it was us and maybe 2 or 3 other drivers that kind of went up high, rolled to the back, and we rode around for the first 50 laps. And if you look back at the finishing results last year between me, Cody, I think Natalie was up there. We were all in the top 5 for that finish. So there's definitely some value to making sure that you're there at the end. But, any kind of racing, you can make all the strategies and planning you want with other teams, but then everybody's gonna look out for themselves. So
yeah,
and there's definitely a balance to that and kind of reading through that, but you definitely want somebody to work with, and hopefully with all the Chevy teams that are out there on the truck and Xfinity side, we'll find some good partners to work with when we get down there.
Definitely got to take care of each other, especially in the early stages at these races. So you're running trucks and Xfinity, and both vehicles run a little bit differently, draft a little bit differently at the track. So I want to ask you, which race are you most looking forward to this weekend, and why?
I've always said this, and it's definitely coming a new perspective this weekend, but my favorite race is the next one. So what I look forward to the most is going to be the truck one Friday night, and when that one's over, it's going to be the Xfinity race Saturday night. So I'm just generally as a whole excited about this weekend. It's going to be cool to bring a new partner like Swan in the sport. To go back and touch on that, I look at the progression and growth of our team and all our core partners. Look at what we did with Casey last year when they jumped on the hood of our truck for the first time. So if we can deliver an exciting highlight reel finish to the guys at Swan, having the Swan and Forester truck out there on the racetrack will be exciting. But it is really cool to see this. We had a lot of new other partners jump on board last year. U.S. Law Shield, the guys from First Mate Pet Food, Lucas Oil came back with us this year. And if you look at we just released our hauler scheme. Did you see that?
I did.
Our new hauler
It
wrap?
is absolutely amazing.
That was pretty cool. And everybody always joked about, last year with our blue wrap, they're like, why does the blue and the tractor doesn't match? The tractor's red and white. Well, there's a story behind that. We have a company, Capital City Towing, out of Columbia, South Carolina, that gives us a tractor and a diesel fuel card used every year. So it's actually a partnership in and of itself. And part of the deal was he kept the colors on the tractor. Red and white were his colors. So now once we kind of got everything aligned, we have the red and white on our Xfinity car this year. Those colors align, but it's pretty cool what we've done on the Xfinity side. We've really focused hard on the business to business model. We've got, if you look on the hauler, we've got Crest, which is the body shop nut and bolt supplier for all of Bomarito's dealerships. You've got Exalta, who is his paint supplier for all his dealerships. You've got Easy Care, one of their financing companies. You have Community Tire, who is his wholesale tire distributor on there. And then you have, I'm going to miss one right here.
You've done a pretty good job. I mean, you rattled off a lot of sponsors. That's good practice.
I can't forget the guys from FVP. That's who supplies all Bomarito's belts and batteries. So I'm getting better at making sure we keep everybody plugged in there. But it is a really cool thing. And it's kind of, a lot of our partnerships are not so much, just a sticker slap on the race car, because I think that's where being the owner driver definitely makes it a little bit different, because I'm involved in that process from talking to the partner, working through the paint scheme, learning about their company, putting the contracts and all the deals together. So it's not like I show up at the race, you're like, oh, here's your sponsor this week. And you got to kind of, more authentic than that, because I'm learning and working with these companies through the whole process. And you learn not about, what kind of products they have, what kind of culture the company has, how their employees work together. So that whole process, being more hands-on on the marketing and business side of it, I think has made these partnerships really come to life more. So I think that's one of the biggest things I'm excited about this year, is getting more of those companies involved that really want to see this thing thrive and really succeed in the long run.
Definitely. It's always great to hear more about the sponsorship side of things from you, Jordan. Thank you for being on the show this morning. We look forward to seeing that Swan Enforcer truck on the track Friday night, and of course your 31 Bomarito Xfinity car on the track Saturday afternoon, evening. It's a late afternoon start. The schedule's all over the place this weekend.
We were actually trying to figure out, if you look at the Swan cameras, they've got the red and blue light that flashes, and we tried to figure out if we could do like a Ricky Bobby Fig Newton deal where we put some red and blue lights inside the race car so we're going to the track. But I don't know if NASCAR like that, so we just got the camera right on the back bumper. But thanks as always, Eric. Always cool to come on the show and talk with you. And I know this time last year we were talking about our great finish at Daytona, so hopefully we'll get through this weekend, have 2 good finishes, and can come back on the show and share some more stories with you.
Absolutely. We'll be rooting for you. I appreciate it. Good luck this weekend. And I think NASCAR has probably never been asked about putting flashing lights in the cockpit, so you might as well try. There may not be anything in the rulebook against it at this point. So
somebody's getting ready to pass you for the lead, and you just flip the switch and they freak out.
Whoa, what's going on? That's maybe that is a safety hazard. Well, we'll see what NASCAR says. Thanks for being on, man. Good luck this weekend. We'll be watching.
Thanks, Eric. See you guys. Have a good weekend.
Thanks again to Jordan for coming on the show, sharing some of his insight with us. Now, let's talk about tonight's Busch Clash. Last night, NASCAR held a random draw to determine the starting order for this race. Ryan Blaney will start on the pole. Bowman, Hamlin, Keselowski, Byron make up the top 5. Chase Elliott, heavy favorite, starts 7th. And Eric Almirola, who had some really great luck with all the random draws last year, he did not start off very strong here in 2021. He drew last place. He'll start 21st. I'm feeling good about Blaney being on the pole Wednesday night during the NASCAR Weekly podcast. He was my pick to win, and I kind of went out on a limb on that pick. I'm standing by it. I feel good about Ryan Blaney here to open the season. Everyone's talking about Chase Elliott, and for good reason. Chase Elliott's probably going to run up front and will likely be tough to beat tonight. But hey, the last couple of years, the Busch Clash has gotten really sloppy. Yes, they've been on the oval, completely different race, completely different track, completely different car than what we're going to see tonight, but I have a feeling something wild's going to happen, and it won't be a clear favorite like Chase Elliott who wins tonight. I'm going with Ryan Blaney, getting kind of risky here. The first race prediction of Out of the Groove. Denny Hamlin's going to be fast as well, if you ask me. He finished second to Chase Elliott last summer at the Daytona road course. I want to talk a little bit about why the Busch Clash is being run on the road course, because I've seen a lot of comments in recent weeks of fans groaning about the fact that we're kicking the year off with the Daytona road course as opposed to the traditional 2.5 mile oval. And I gotta say, I sympathize with a lot of these complaints. I love super speedway racing. Road course racing is cool and all too, but super speedway racing is uniquely NASCAR. And this whole week, in the past it's been multiple weeks, is meant to build up to the biggest event in stock car racing, the Daytona 500, which takes place on the oval. It is super speedway racing. Races like the Clash and the Duels Thursday night are supposed to be little teasers, little hints at what we might see Sunday afternoon. And this year, however, with the road course being the site of the Busch Clash, we're kind of robbed of that teaser. I think a lot of fans also aren't as excited because last year's Daytona road course race that was sort of impromptu, added to the schedule last minute, wasn't super exciting. It was an okay race, but I don't think it didn't live up to the expectations like the Charlotte Roval set for it. You know, the Roval showed up on the schedule, was immediately like race of the year, so I think a lot of people hoped the Daytona road course would be similar, and it just wasn't as good. Now this year, they are running a different rules package. They're running the low downforce, high horsepower 750 rules package tonight in the Busch Clash, so the cars are going to handle a little different than they did last year. Might lead to better racing, we'll see about that. You know, I understand why NASCAR voted to change the Busch Clash to the road course. At the time, when they made the announcement, it was going to be the premiere, the debut of NASCAR at the Daytona road course. We would have never seen it before. With the pandemic last year and schedules being shuffled around, of course, they ran the Daytona road course in the summer, and that was the official premiere of NASCAR at the road course. So this year's Busch Clash doesn't have quite as much significance for that reason. But you know, the 2019 Busch Clash was absolutely terrible. It was a joke of a race. It was super boring throughout, and then, you know, right before the rain hit, Johnson tried to make a move on Menard and it set off a huge wreck. So then the rain hit and it was rain short. That was a terrible race. And then last year's race was also kind of boring until the end, when it just got super messy and it was a bit embarrassing. You know, that destroyed 20 car ended up winning the race. At least that was kind of funny. There were some good memes from that race. But I understand NASCAR and many of the fans, you know, perception last year, you know, that the last 2 years of the Busch Clash were not very good, did not make the sport look good. And so I think switching it to the road course was a good idea on paper. I'm just worried about how it'll be executed tonight. I'm still really excited because it's the first time we've seen Cup cars on the track since November. But, you know, when the teams themselves have already admitted that they're looking at tonight's race as really a test session for the race in, you know, 2 weeks at the Daytona road course, it's hard for me to get that excited about tonight's event. But it is race day. There's a different temperature in the air, and that's really, really exciting. Now, another exciting bit of news I wanted to hit on that I saw today. I don't usually promote ESPN. ESPN's kind of dropped motorsports, especially NASCAR, like a bad habit in recent years. But I saw something cool today. They announced that they will be airing an E60 documentary about Dale Earnhardt on Daytona 500 race day. It will air at noon Eastern time, February 14th, just a couple hours before the green flag is scheduled to drop. They're airing this documentary as it is the 20-year anniversary of the crash that took Dale Earnhardt's life. They've got Ryan McGee as the lead reporter for this story. It sounds really, really cool. They're going to look back at that day, but they're also going to look back at the legacy that Dale Earnhardt left on the sport. And I think it sounds really like a really neat idea. You know, when ESPN wants to do something good for NASCAR, wants to do something that shows NASCAR and its heroes, its legends in a positive light, I'm all for it. I will support it. So that was a cool bit of news to see main ESPN producing a Dale Earnhardt special documentary. So look forward to that. That's really all I have to talk about here in today's episode. Again, a huge thank you to Jordan Anderson for being on the show, sharing a bunch of insight with us from this past off season. I have a lot of videos planned this week. I'll be doing a live stream tonight after the Busch Clash. We'll do a normal Out of the Groove race review later in the evening. It's going to be a late night, but I'm experimenting with some initial live stream reactions right after the checkered flag. I'll be going live right here at youtube.com/EricEstep, so you guys can come join me and vent about the race, get excited, whatever you want to do. It'll be a little bit of an experiment, but that's something I'm trying out tonight, so look forward to that. Plenty more Out of the Groove episodes throughout the week. Things are getting busy. The season is upon us. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for the support. As always, a huge thank you as well to my amazing Patreon supporters. I couldn't do this show without your tremendous support each and every single month. Enjoy the race tonight, folks. I will see you all after the checkered flag. Take care, everyone.